Now, the Functional Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress has declared Edem Agbana as winner of last weekend's primary for the Ketu North constituency. This decision comes days after he and John Kwabla Adenu were declared to have tied after a recount of the vote on the day of election. Joining us with details of this decision is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gbande. Grateful that you could join us here. Now, what exactly went into this particular decision?
Thank you very much and good evening to your cherished listeners. Today, the Functional Executive Committee, led by or chaired by our National Chairman, Honorable Johnson Asidun Katia, and the Honorable General Secretary of our party, sat in that committee. And what we found out was clearly some issues correcting the irregularities has been alleged, and that we took the decision to declare Edem Agbana as the duly elected parliamentary candidate of Ketu North, particularly that the election was transparent. Number two, that there were no foreign materials in the ballots. Number three, that the ballots purported to be under litigation complied with the serial numbers of the ballot papers in the book which was assigned to that particular constituency. And that after counting first time and second time, which coincided, we came to the conclusion that he was duly elected and those ballots were counted, particularly in the 2013 elections, Supreme Court election declaration that the candidate could not have suffered for the errors committed by an EC official. On that basis, we upheld Edem as the elected candidate. Also, was to the effect that because Edem has made some pronouncements on air that affects the credibility of executive members of the party, particularly at the region and the constituency where he's contested. In the interest of unity and in the interest of, as it were, respecting the party structure, the national chairman further ordered that within 7 days, Edem Agbana and his lawyers would have to employ the same medium through which he made his earlier statements to apologize to all the individuals he had initially accused.
Okay, so if I understand you, you are faulting the Electoral Commission for this, the decision that was arrived at over the weekend. Is that it?
Well, at the end of the day, the EC officer was to stamp a ballot paper before issuing as part of the mechanisms that we use. And so we also realized that in the absence of a stamp, in itself is not substantial enough to invalidate that particular ballot paper. Particularly that when you take stock or the accounting of the ballot papers, they actually reconciles itself, and there were not foreign materials, or issue of overvoting. And so we came to that conclusion that that error was not enough to invalidate the ballot papers. Okay. Particularly that the serial numbers coincides with what is contained in the duplicate of the book that was assigned to that particular constituency for the purposes of this election. We came to that conclusion.
But how does it lie with the party to take such a decision when the party should have resorted to the court or the EC to a rerun? That according to your party principles, is it the party that's supposed to be handling these matters?
The National Executive Committee of the party is given enough powers to look into any issue that affects the party or any level of the party. Particularly that for the purposes of this election.
Mr. Wande, are you there? If you're there, I wanted to find out from you why the party is taking such a decision when it should be the law court making such pronouncement.
The Electoral Commission, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, clearly, yes.
I am saying that the Electoral Commission held this election for the NDC, and that for the purposes of this election, it is our own election. And so if issues came out of it, we are in the position to remedy same,
okay,
without leaving it for the Electoral Commission.
How involved was the other contender? Because this involved two people.
Yes, so National Chairman took his time. Don't forget that this is a sister constituency to the home constituency of the General Secretary of our party. And so they took time to explain properly and meticulously what led to this decision, and also admonish the candidates not to do anything untoward, and that they should come on board for us to work together. In the same vein, we are going to extend to all the other candidates who participated in the election to ensure that we come on board to ensure that that seat is protected for the NDC.
I just wanted to find out if he was there when this decision was taking place.
He was present with his two other lawyers.
Okay.
He had a legal representation. All his agents were present with other key supporters of his camp. It was a very fruitful discussion.
Okay. All right.
I must say that we have adopted these meticulous measures as a matter of fact to unite the party, okay, and to ensure that we have a united front going into the election 2024.
Mustafa Gbande, I'm grateful for joining us. He is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Still to come here on Joy.